All right, folks, joining us right now is Allison Jean. She is the mother of Botham Jean. She joins us from St. Lucia, where he is from, and of course, his funeral. He was actually buried there as well. First and foremost, Ms. Jean, our prayers and condolences to you and your family for the loss of your son. By all accounts, he was certainly a tremendous individual, and it is sad that at 26 you had to bury your son.
Yes, thank you.
First and foremost, how did you, who reached out to you to let you know what happened to your son? And just describe for us what took place and how you discovered what Amber Guyger had done to your son.
Yeah, well, I was in New York City with my daughter. She lives in Brooklyn. And just about 12:40, 12:40 a.m., she received a telephone call from someone who said that they were a social worker at the Baylor Medical Center. And they indicated that my son was shot and killed. At the time, um, we didn't know exactly where he was shot. So all sorts of things came through my mind, wondering whether it was a burglar, whether he was robbed, or whether he was hit by a stray bullet, or whether he was in bad company, because I knew he was never in bad company, but all sorts of things flashed my mind. So that is the point. That is when I got to know. But it was soon after someone from the police department telephoned my daughter again and said that said the same thing, that he was shot and he didn't make it. And just maybe about half an hour later, I got a message on Facebook Messenger from somebody else. And so I got three confirmations. And that is at the third point, the third message, that I understood that he was shot right in his apartment.
Were you now? We've seen a photo that was taken of your son as well as Amber Guyger. To your knowledge, did they know each other? Did they talk? Did they see one another? Just did you have any information or any knowledge that Amber Guyger knew your son?
My son was very open with me, and if he was seeing someone, he would tell me, and he never ever spoke to me about this Amber Guyger. So, from my recollection, from my knowledge, he did not know
Your son worked in the city. He led worship at his church. For folks who don't know more about him, what was he like? And when did he come to the United States? And so when did he leave St. Lucia to come to the United States?
Yeah, my son left St. Lucia in 2011 to go to the Harding University in Searcy, Arkansas. He spent 4 years at Harding before he gained an internship at PwC in Dallas, Texas. So he moved, it was initially a 6-week internship program, but they invited him to remain for 6 months. So he spent that amount of time in Dallas, moved back to Arkansas to complete his degree in accounting and information systems. And then he was immediately offered a position by PwC. So in June of 2016, I believe, he moved back to Dallas and worked with PwC until his death.
What kind of child was he growing up?
Well, like all of the children, he was very active. He was a very active boy, but very determined. I never had to nudge him to study for exams or anything like that. He always had a plan all laid out. In St. Lucia, we have an examination after elementary school that allows you to gain a place at a high school. And out of over 5,000 students, he was 23rd So he went into what we know as the top high school on the island, and he spent 5 years there before moving on to a sixth and seventh, or what we call, I think, 12th or 13th grade. And after that, he worked for 2 years before going to university. He was always very, he was he was a planner. He always spoke about failing to plan is planning to fail. He was very active in his church, in the church in St. Lucia where we attended. He also brought, when he went to Harding University, he brought students on several consecutive years while at Harding to do charity work on our island. So he visited a center for delinquent boys. He also visited the orphanage. He helped in the community. He loved singing, so he would just go to people's homes, people who he felt needed comforting. He would go with a group and sing with them. So I had no difficulty with him. He was very warm. He loved everyone. He was very affable. He was what you would call the life of the party. As soon as he entered a room, everybody was lit up. He was always very joyful. So his loss is tremendous for me. I just keep reflecting on the fact that I will never get a telephone call from him again.
And the last question, his birthday is on Saturday, and there's a rally planned in the city of Dallas, downtown Dallas, to remember him and to celebrate his birthday. That certainly has to be tough because any parent, especially a mom who birthed a child, birthdays are special not only for the child but also for the mother as well.
Yeah, both my daughter and myself were already discussing the gifts that we would have sent to him for his birthday. So, and I keep getting email notifications that his birthday is coming up. So Saturday, I know it's going to be very tough for me. And, you know, just the fact that I know that they're having all of these rallies and vigils and so on, but for me, I don't know what I'm going to do on Saturday. I really wish I could just run and hide and never, ever have to see that particular day, because it's going to be very, very difficult for me to face that day.
Well, Allison Jean, we certainly appreciate you joining us right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered to tell us more about your son, to share his story, and certainly our prayers will be with you and your family, not just on Saturday, but also as you have to continue going through this, because this certainly will be a long process as they go through a grand jury, go through a trial, and then hopefully a jury will do right and sentence, actually convict Amber Guyger for the shooting death of your son.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.